very many journals, so much as such as that have been done so far, including Zoo, Y, U, X, Django, G, human skin bacterial microbiota homeostasis, West Guji Zone public health study, Tusabe, Chinda, Steven, Sekitoreko, Prajapati, Ramakrishna, and the others. All those are references that have helped us to have a script concept about the proximity vector of portable devices, of microbial residues, and the systemic pathogenesis. To ensure the strict scientific accuracy through this time, or this, I need to have some definitions. First of all, you need to know the same like me, the meaning of microbiome as the entire collection of microorganisms, their genetic elements, and the surrounding environmental conditions within a specific niche. You need also to know microbiota as the actual assembly of living microorganisms like bacteria, fungi, viruses, and algae residing within a specific ecosystem, while microbiome includes genes and environment. This is the difference between microbiome and microbiota. So the same, but biome includes genes and environment, where microbiota does not include those. Normal flora, you need to know it. Normal flora as the communities of microorganisms that permanently reside on or within healthy body surfaces without causing disease under a standard condition. If they say under a standard condition, it means if this condition changes, what was not harming you can harm you. They actively protect the host by competing against dangerous pathogens, as you have seen it in the journal, in a journal of Zoo. Microbial translocation. You need to know these things because it is very important. The physical movement or migration of viable microorganisms across an epithelial barrier from their native homeostatic anatomical niche into a normal sterile or foreign region of the body, frequently transforming harmless flora into dangerous opportunistic pathogens. You need to understand this as well. You need to know something about the fomites as an inactive object or substance, including touch screen, your touch screen, the touch screens of your phone, your TV, including the clothes, including athletic equipment, that when contaminated with an infectious organism, acts as a mechanical vehicle capable of transferring pathogens from one individual or body part to another. You need also to know what is a biofilm. Biofilm is like something like a community as well of bacterial cells enclosed in a self-produced polymeric matrix that adheres strongly to the static surfaces like a mobile phone. glass screen, protecting the embedded bacteria from standard desiccation and mild cleaning agents. So this is very important. You need to know opportunistic pathogens as microorganisms that usually coexist harmlessly with the host, but triggers severe localized or systemic infections when the host skin bacteria is broken or the immune system becomes compromised. You need to understand when is the immune system compromised. It's compromised when someone became like HIV positive. It is compromised when someone gets an incurable disease that is going to weaken his immune system as well. They were immunocompromised. So, my dear brothers and sisters, this is virus as well. You need to come and feel comfortable. Yes. So, in this modern world that we are living on today, it is not easy that you can have even 1 minute without looking or touching on your any screen, either that one of your phone, that one of any screen. It is not easy that you can have any minutes without it near you. So the modern portable mobile phone is an unprecedented biological vector, and like static household surfaces, a mobile device functions as an interactive, heated incubator that accompanies humans into highly contaminated spaces, including bathrooms, including public transit, including clinical areas. And because touch screens are rarely subjected to standard disinfection protocols, they act as primary microbial sinks, So they correct oils, they correct desquamated or shed skin epithelial cells and moisture from palms, from debris, and forming a resilient biological film, if I can say. So we are going to talk about anatomical contact across contamination vectors. Here we have our hand with our phone in our palm. So this is already the beginning of picking up transient pathogens unknowingly and touching these surfaces. It is going to lead to a gentle heat incubation of this bacteria. So as long as they have been well incubated and they are surviving, they are well living condition. I mean, those bacteria. It means they are ready. It is a very nice transit. It is a very nice transit for those bacteria to other places. For example, when you are having a cold, sometimes you find yourself frictionating your phone on your cheek, and that is very bad because it can cause you some acne. It is not very nice. It is sometimes you find yourself putting it on your mouth when you are taking a record, for example, or someone is not hearing you clearly and you want him to understand what you're saying. So in here you can get like some gastrointestinal microbes, if I can say, and sometimes you put it on air For example, when your hands are busy, you try to use your shoulder and the air so that you continue the conversation. So there you can find you are a very nice candidate to microabrasions. So during a physical exertion, occupational activities or sports, this cross-contamination process accelerates dramatically, The sweat suspension, thermoregulatory sweat acts as a vehicle, loosening localized normal flora from distinct zones and washing them across the screen during handling. So you need to understand that sometimes it is not that you are accompanied by your phone, even in sports. You need to understand this. That is a piece of advice, if I can say. So involuntary translocation will be done when this device is lifted to answer a call or checked mid-exercise. Sweet diluted bacteria with transient pathogens on the screen and are physically implanted into fresh epithelial microtears on the face, ears, neck, and the chest. Here you are a very nice candidate for those microbes to translocate, to change places, to move from here to there. Yeah, that is it. So, epidemiologically speaking, there are impacts. One that is very serious is a contamination that we read sometimes, that is leading currently in this modern era we are living in to morbidity. Yes. So to maintain strict scientific objectivity and the documentary relies relying on quantified microbiological data and global morbidity indices, tracking healthcare associated infections, and the community outbreak where formats play a critical role. And as you are remembering, formats include the screens of our phones. The general contamination metrics have been noticed, yes. So the point of prevalence, like the cross-section of microbiological screenings globally demonstrate that 81.80% to 86.2% of active mobile phones have pathogenic or opportunistic bacteria, as Tusabe has shown in his journal in 2024. And the microbiological profile after swab analysis has revealed the high loads of Staphylococcus aureus, up to 46.9 coagulates negative Staphylococcus, and Escherichia coli up to 34.4, confirming direct fecal-oral transmission paths via the device, as Chinda has showed it, and Tusabe as well in their research in 2025 and 2022, respectively. So, associated systemic morbidity, we cannot ignore the nosocomial facility morbidity, or from, if I can say, hospital-acquired infections driven by contaminated formats affect 5% to 10% of admitted patients in developed nations, but the morbidity rate surges drastically to over 25% of admitted patients in the developing regions due to limited environmental sanitation infrastructure. So the West Guji Zone study of public health in 2024 has tried to solve this. It has been also clear that pediatric and vulnerable demographics in low-resource public health landscapes, translocated bacterial pathogens are responsible for staggering morbidity baselines, accounting for approximately 26% of all clinical admissions and 20% of all pediatric mortalities. In children under the age of 5, Sekitoreko in 2025 and Tusabe in 2022, they were very clear to this matter, that it affects much our children. So a laboratory manifestation of this upon entering systemic circulation of those bacteria via subdermal breaches, these patterns induce an acute inflammatory cascade. So the hepatic response synthesizes C-reactive protein rapidly, serving as an unyielding laboratory marker for severe septicemia or systemic inflammatory response syndrome. You understand? Nowadays, if you go in 5 to 10 people who will go to hospital, in 10 people will go to hospital nowadays, like 7 of them, they will tell them that they have septicemia, you know. So this thing that is that is showing its prevalence at this extent, we need to pay attention on it. We need to pay attention on it, because otherwise we are going to be suffering later without any news, if I can say about it. So you need to be alerted, my people. So of course there is a comprehensive risk registry, as we have so far seen, that it can show uncountable negative effects that have been noted, of course, from the use of phones. As we can see, for example, if I try to go in some of those negative effects, you know, for example, I can talk about the negative effects of dermatological and barrier breakdown, you know. So the more we continue to ignore this problem, this matter, the continuous accumulation of sebum and the cellular debris. Sebum is like oil in our skin, and the cellular debris on our grass substrate. Occlusion of facial pores via mechanical device pressure, acceleration of inflammatory or phone acne along the mandibular line, localized follicular necrosis, disruption of native facial microbiome balance. Prajapati in 2024 is the one who was very clear with this matter, trying to show the consequences that we will be meeting when once measures are not taken. You see? So also the proliferation of community acquired Staphylococcus aureus in facial sweet film. If you remember, a film is something that is in which there are bacteria, but this thing is not bacteria. That inside that thing, that film, there are bacteria, and that thing can try to protect those bacteria, if I can say. So the formation, or the proliferation of community acquired Staphylococcus aureus in facial sweet film, formation of deep painful dermal phalanges, development of multiple neck carbuncles via coral frictions, you know. So, and micro abrasion on our ear in the retroauricular crease from headset pressure, lateral tracking of cellulitis across facial layers. All those things are the consequences that are going to be faced by we human beings if we don't pay attention on the use of our phones and our headphones. This has been noted in 2015 by Ramakrishna, an Indian researcher. So, as you can understand, there is a continuous destruction of localized skin basement membrane and development of permanent fibrotic scarring, epidermal maceration due to trapped sweat beneath the phone interface, and the entry of transient pathogen into the subdermal capillary loops. So the down regulation of localized antimicrobial peptides, all those things we are continuing. So this is, I think, the problem is becoming severe and severe. Is becoming serious and serious. Now it is attacking the basement membrane of the skin. So as long as the basement membrane of the skin is being attacked, it means the skin death is going to be not noticed, of course, because at this basement membrane, it is where there are hair follicles or the cells that are going to produce hair. So it is where you are going to see those things like so regeneration of skin is this way it is based, of course. It is where it is going, the skin is going to regenerate from. So once it is attacked or it is distracted, you understand what is happening. So exacerbation of underlying eczema or atopic dermatitis via bacterial endotoxins, secondary impetigo development, and intractable facial pruritus causing self-induced scratch lesions, chronic low-grade folliculitis, and permanent localized sweat gland obstruction. So these are all the things that will happen because of our phone. These things are very dangerous. If you are experiencing something among others like permanent localized sweat gland obstruction, my dear, it is not an easy thing. So we are talking about the hematological and the barrier breakdown. So the effects that are linked to dermatology, to our skin. So now we are going to talk about gastrointestinal and the metabolic pathogenesis. Talking to gastrointestinal, fecal-oral translocation of Escherichia coli strains from the screen of our phone to oral cavity. This is the beginning of an issue. Then once these Escherichia coli are localizing, then they will go there and colonize the upper gastrointestinal tract. Colonizing this place by enterotoxigenic pathogens, by colonizing this place, they will first of all do what is called the squamation of a small intestine microvilli. And these microvilli, small intestine, they are the ones which help in absorption of food, of everything, of medicine, of everything here. So you understand. So now the Escherichia coli has entered and then continued with colonizing this upper gastrointestinal tract and by enterogenic pathogens, and then they squamated the small intestine microvilli, and after the acute disruption of intestinal tight junction is experienced, then the onset of severe secretory diarrhea is being observed. You understand? So severe secretory diarrhea by this severe secretory diarrhea. Do you understand where it came from? It has come from. All start with Escherichia coli on the screen of your phone. Then after, you put it in contact with your mouth when you are taking a record, when you are in sports, and with your sweet gland, with your sweets, because you are in sport, those microbes, including this Escherichia coli, are diluted in this sweet, and then involuntarily, if I can say, to you, they pass into your gastrointestinal tract. Passing there, they immediately colonize the upper gastrointestinal tract. Colonizing this place, they squamate the microvilli in the small intestine, where absorption is supposed to take place. Then experience of acute disruption of intestinal tight junction. Then onset of or appearance of or severe secretory diarrhea. You understand? So, as this continues, there will be a profound metabolic dehydration. I have told you that it is in this place of small, of intestinal or small intestine microvilli where absorption takes place. So, as long as those microvilli have been affected this much or this far, so it means they will not do their function, do their role as normal. You understand? So there we see a profound metabolic dehydration from uncompensable fluid loss. You understand that at the beginning above there has been a severe secretory diarrhea. So once there is a diarrhea, normally you are supposed to drink much water, but you are drinking it and it is being severely secreted outside. So these are the total hell you are experiencing. But from where? From the screen of your phone. You understand? So you understand how much careful you need to be. So after these things, a rapid electrolyte, everybody who is experiencing diarrhea is losing metabolites. He's losing especially electrolytes. So as electrolytes are depleting, they will cause like hypokalemia. Hypokalemia, you remember, it is you are suffering from hypokalemia is when your potassium is going down, when your potassium ion is going down, and you can even suffer from hyponatremia. This when your sodium is going down as well. So these things I don't remember very well, but these two, they are from those major important electrolytes, potassium and sodium. So potassium, once is low and your sodium is being low as well, this induces neurological instability. So as long as the neurological instability is being expressed, why? Because most of those electrolytes, they are the ones which help. There is a cycle in our body which is called sodium potassium pump.